Now we're going to dive into arguably the most important part, the crypto rewards aspect here shortly. But first, there's a few important details to cover. For starters, let's talk about who Coinbase has partnered with to make this card available, because as we know, Coinbase itself is not a bank. The Coinbase One card is offered by First Electronic Bank, a financial institution based in Utah with 20 years of operating history. While the card operates on the American Express payment network, it's important to note that First Electronic Bank is the actual issuer, not American Express itself. And here's the first area where this card stands out from others. With most credit card applications, the inquiry will impact your credit score, and this is true whether or not you're approved. However, the Coinbase One credit card lets you see if you're approved without impacting your credit score. However, once you do pre-qualify and decide whether or not you want the card, you can submit a full application, which results in a hard inquiry, which can then impact your credit score. Once approved, you get a temporary credit limit that you can start using immediately with the digital version of the card, and the physical card typically comes in the mail within a few weeks. So now guys, let's get into the best part, the crypto rewards aspect of this card. Most credit cards out there, guys, are going to offer you cash back on certain purchases, airline miles, points, or something like that. But that usually means that you need to spend what you are earning, which usually means buying more stuff that you probably don't even need in the first place. What's cool about the Crypto One card is that the rewards earned are actually paid out in cryptocurrency, which is considered by most to be an investment. However, I do have to mention here that this is not investment or personal financial advice, and crypto investing in general is risky. As soon as you make a purchase with this card, you earn crypto back in the form of Bitcoin. And yes, to point out the elephant in the room, there are some crypto credit cards that let you choose the crypto rewards that you earn back. But most would agree that Bitcoin, the OG, is the most important here. Now, one of the biggest benefits of crypto rewards is that you get to capitalize on any potential price appreciation that occurs, but keep in mind the value can decline too. So if you earned your rewards when Bitcoin was at 100,000 and hypothetically speaking it hits 150,000, well then the value of your rewards would also increase by 50%. And you can't say the same thing about traditional cash back. But how much can you actually earn in rewards? Well, to answer that question, we have to talk about two things here. The sign-up bonus for the Coinbase exchange itself, and then the ongoing rewards tiers for this credit card. So it's sort of a good news, bad news situation. The good news is there is a sign-up bonus for the exchange account only. The bad news is if you already have a Coinbase account, you're not going to be eligible for this bonus. With that said, if you don't have a Coinbase exchange account yet, you can visit ryanoscribner.com/Coinbase to sign up and potentially get a Bitcoin bonus in the process. But what about the long-term rewards? Well, let's get into that now with the cashback tiers associated with this credit card. What's interesting is that there are 4 different tiers, and it's based on how much you have in assets already with Coinbase, and then the rewards are going to vary based on each tier. Tier 1 applies to those with under $10,000 in assets with Coinbase, and that earns 2% back in Bitcoin across all spending categories. Tier 2 is for those with $10,000 to just under $50,000 of assets with Coinbase, earning 2.5% back in Bitcoin. Then we have Tier 3, which earns 3% back on all purchases in the form of Bitcoin, but you need $50,000 or more to just under $200,000 in assets with Coinbase. And finally, in Tier 4, you earn a whopping 4% back on all purchases in the form of Bitcoin, but you need to have $200,000 or more in assets with Coinbase. One final note here is that for tiers 2 through 4, the top reward rate is based on the first $10,000 in monthly purchases only, and then it drops back down to the base 2% back in Bitcoin. But still, $10,000 a month is a very generous spending limit. And when you compare this to something like my Discover card earning a flat 1% cash back, it's really a no-brainer. The last thing I want to cover here, guys, are some final details about the card. And one of the first things that you'll notice about it is that American Express logo. As mentioned before, American Express is the payment network provider here for this card, but that also means that you'll have access to Amex benefits, including fraud protection and identity theft monitoring. And as far as customer service goes for this credit card, Coinbase has a 24/7 customer support phone number available to Coinbase One members so you can get someone on the phone day or night. So that begs the question, is the Coinbase One card worth it? In my opinion, this is a killer crypto credit card. I love how simple it is and the fact that you don't have to keep track of a ton of different spending categories and limits. For some people, the fact that you can only earn Bitcoin back might be a downside to them, but it might actually be a rare case of protecting you from you, where you might be benefiting from being steered in this direction. If you end up earning rewards back in some speculative altcoin that ends up becoming close to valueless, then what's the point? So personally, I get the decision here. But again, this all comes with the important reminder that you need to be responsible with your credit card usage. If you end up racking up a huge credit card balance, or even just a small one that you're paying interest on each month, that's going to quickly negate any benefits you're receiving. So again, what I recommend is following the strategy that I follow myself, and that is paying off your credit card balances in full every single month. And guys, don't forget to use my link to open up your Coinbase exchange account to support the channel and potentially get some free Bitcoin in the process.